Good morning. Welcome to the Option XE webinar. My name is Ben Newman. It's the 2nd of June and it's 10:24 a.m. Central European Summertime. A little bit of a delay there, just getting everything ready for you guys, make sure everything's working all right. You should be able to see and hear me. As always, you can interact with me through the chat window here. Please do. Any questions you've got, please ask away. And I can cover them for everyone that's attending today. Makes it a lot easier for us to all benefit. Is there anyone new today? Is there anyone brand new on the webinar? Anyone that's not been here before or not had any training regarding the Optionbot software? If anyone answers, obviously I can go through the parameters of the software just so you know what they all mean. If I don't hear anything, obviously I'll assume that's not the case. Can everyone hear me okay? Can I get some response just to make sure everyone can see and hear me? See the screen? Okay, perfect. All right, thanks James, thanks Baz. Right, so today what I'm going to do is get straight on with some details. In 5 minutes time we've got the construction PMI coming up. German unemployment change was down 6,000, down by 6,000 people, that is. Not huge, but it was predicted to be a lot more than that, actually, double that. So that's probably had an effect on the euro. So what I'm going to do is focus on the euro and the GBP today. And of course, we had that Aussie cash rate and rate statement. Look at that. I did state this yesterday. Anyone that was willing to get up at that time to take advantage of this really would have taken advantage. I said it was going to be positive for the Aussie dollar. It really was. Look at that movement. So they're the sort of events that really you want to be making sure that you're in attendance for. And there we go. We can see the this hike in the euro is probably down to the fact that, well, I don't know what it's to do with, because the employment change, German unemployment change was below forecast. This is a huge rise in the euro, but it could just be, maybe it's that the pound got very weak. No, it's definitely the euro got much stronger. So interesting that. We'll see what happens when London opens. But I think the trends that we want to focus on are the GBP and euro trends, although GBP USD there. Let's have a look at the GBP JPY. I'm just methodically going through and identifying trends that are going to give us opportunity to change. To trade. The change when the London market opens and we see the results of this purchasing managers index for the construction industry. Then we've got net lending, money supply and mortgage approvals as well, all coming up at the same time. And we've also got various other core price indexes coming up for the rest of Europe as well. So it'll be interesting for the European economy as a whole, I think, today. So we'll just go through these and just see what we've got to go at. The USD JPY, well, we can see that the yen has been driving this down. The Euro JPY, we saw this massive hike here in the euro, but now this is being driven back down by the yen. Let's just have a look at it, what it looks like on a 3-day chart. And there we go. So we can see that the yen actually really took control of the euro yesterday. We knew that it was weak, and its impact. We had a few successful trades as a result, but then the euro has been picking up ever since then, and it's just leveled out. So we can see it's almost level at the moment. So not one that really we want to be interested in trading. I'm going to turn it on anyway, because this could carry on coming down in favour of the yen. Now the Euro USD, let's have a look at an M15 chart on this. Right, so interestingly, I think the US dollar will start to dominate this as the day goes on, but we'll see how those manufacturing figures pan out. So we can see the euro has been on a rise. It may continue to rise a little bit more before the US dollar takes control of that. But at the moment, I think the ones to focus on, really there's not a lot to go at. I want to see what happens at London market opening. This Aussie US dollar is interesting. Let's have a look at the 3-day view, because this, there we go, look how much the Aussie dollar has strengthened. that says to me that this is going to start coming down. The US dollar will start taking control of this. So we'll just see how that pans out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my my bottom row of platforms teed up for this Aussie US dollar movement. Longer term trades. When I say longer term, I'm talking half an hour or more anyway, at least. And then we're just following that ongoing strength of the US dollar now, but on a good time frame. Let's just have a look. Aussie US dollar here. So I'm just getting these teed up, and then I'm going to go straight back and have a look at the UK market. I'll just keep an eye on these Aussie US dollar ones. Look how much the US dollar is. Really interesting movement here. So the euro did drop massively, and that was yeah, that was about an hour ago, no, 30 minutes ago, and I'm sure that is to do with this German unemployment change. Look how much the US dollar gained, but I think the euro will start to pick up, and we'll see what happens when the London market opens. So I'm just going to get these longer term trades, because these are kind of, we can see here the Aussie dollar is now picking up against the US dollar, so we'll just see how these pan out. But I'm going to leave them set up just so we can get a trade on those if we want to. I'm going to assess it again in a minute. Just have a look. I think the US dollar overall will continue to dominate this. Now the ones we want to look at now are the euro US dollar, certainly, because I think yeah, we can see that the euro gained, but then the US dollar has pulled this back down. But now the euro is on the rise again, as we can see, but I think it's, let's have a look at the position it's coming back from. But I think, yeah, probably the euro's got a bit more movement in it, but we'll just see what happens now that yeah, GBP JPY, let's have a look. Thanks for that, James. Yeah, so this has started to rise rapidly in favour of the pound. Let's just have a look at the construction PMI figures. Yeah, so very positive indeed. So that's why. So we'll wait for correction on this, okay? And let's just have a look at the M5 chart. So I'm not going to rush into trading this just yet, because there will be some level of correction on this. But let's have a look at the Euro GBP, which should be going in the other direction. Yeah, it has, but nowhere near as much as the against the yen. So interesting that. Thanks for pointing it out, James. I think it was James that pointed it out. I'm just scrolling through here. Let's have a look at the Euro USD. I imagine it will be a similar story to against the, the GBP USD, because I imagine it will be similar to the GBP JPY. Let's just have a look at that. Yes, that's really hiked up, but it's got to a point now where it's seeing some correction. So we'll just see how that carries on. We're only 3 minutes into London market opening. I think this will start to come back down now. So we'll just keep an eye on it. It may just level out, but we'll see what happens. GBP USD, which our chart isn't changing now, typical at market opening. We'll look at this Aussie US dollar now. The Aussie's starting to rise against the US dollar now. So the US dollar looking very weak, actually. Let's have a look at the GBP USD here. Yeah, so the US dollar looking very weak here, and here goes the GBP again, continuing to rise against this US dollar. So I'm going to place trades on this GBP USD. I think we can see that the US dollar is very weak at the moment. Euro USD as well, but I think the GBP USD is the one that really is giving us the best advantage currently. We can see this is continuing to rise, so I'm going to get these trades placed. So I think the pound will continue to gain further to those movements there. So let's just have a look. Euro USD seeing similar movement to the GBP USD, but it's certainly the GBP USD that's giving us that that really good opportunity to place trades here. It's continuing to rise, so let's hope we can capitalise on that. It is quite a bit above forecast figures. Net lending to individuals way up. That shows big boost in consumer confidence, or it's a good indication of an economy's health. Obviously, there's good lending to individuals. So with that in mind, this is where we're placing our trades. GBP USD, they're call trades, expiry 9 o'clock. Now the other one that I wanted to look at is the Aussie US dollar. So Australian US dollar, let's have a look at that now. So that is starting to come back down. I'd place longer trade on that. The US dollar, right, well the chart's not changing for us at the moment, so let's have a look at these. The GBP USD trade looking good for us. I'm hoping that will hold strength. I think against the Aussie dollar it won't be as likely to hold strength. Sorry, the Aussie dollar won't be as likely to hold strength against the US dollar. So we've got no questions at the moment. So this has just gone level, so hopefully we play this in enough time to just get us into a favourable position on it. I think this GBP USD, this Aussie USD just isn't changing at the moment. I think this Australian US dollar is probably going to continue to rise now. At the moment, it's just a little bit uncertain. So let's have a look at the Euro GBP. Certainly is carrying on up this. I think this is going to be the one to place a trade on here. The Aussie dollar is going to continue to gain against the US. In fact, I'm going to get those trades placed. So all against the US dollar here. We can see this movement now occurring. I'm going to place slightly shorter trades. In fact, take advantage of this movement against the US dollar. So we can see that the US dollar now looking weak to start today. Aussie US dollar here. I'm thinking that possibly it might be wise to place slightly longer on these trades, but my instinct is that the US dollar is going to continue to drop. So I think these will be fairly safe trades. We can see how much the GBP is now gaining against the US dollar here, as is the Aussie. So these are all in good shape for us, as we can see. So we've got good movement that we've really taken advantage of. We can see them here. All right, that Aussie US dollar one, not quite as established in terms of position at the moment. But that GBP USD really looking very good. I think the US dollar will continue to weaken. We're just a few pips below where we need to be on that trade, but I think overall this is going to continue to go up. So there we go. Got 8 trades placed. Obviously this GBP USD, maybe we would have been wise just to stick to that, because that is showing real strength against the US dollar. So they're the ones we've gone with. Now we've got this Aussie US dollar chart back, so let's have a look here. Yeah, so we can see it's just dipped a bit, but it's creeping back up now. So in the next 20 minutes or so that we've got our trades placed for, it should we can see how much it's been accelerated. It's just dropped just now, but I think this is definitely an Australian-driven trend now. And if we look at the GBP USD, we'll see a similar picture. There we go. Look how much the pound has risen against that US dollar there. Yeah, and it's continuing to rise there, so just creeping up slowly but surely. That's exactly the sort of movement we want. And I think it's the same story with the GBP JPY, James, as you said. The reason I didn't trade that is because generally the movements tend to be a little more definite against the US dollar, but this one looks like it's in a pretty good position to trade as well. So we'll have a look at it. The thing is, what you want to do is make sure that it's an established movement. In fact, we can't make that trade on the on UK options. It's not offering us that option. But I think with the Euro JPY, I'm going to place these trades in favour of the Euro, so which will have a similar effect, I think, with what's going on today. The rest of them I'm going to use the GBP JPY, so that'll be another level of trades. Oh, another level of trades placed for us. GBP JPY. Here we go. And if you notice, I'm placing slightly longer on these trades, so I'm not doing them all for the or that one. Well, it is continuing to rise fairly rapidly, so I'm going to go with that. I'm fairly confident in that trade as well. The pound continuing to strengthen. There we go. We've got a call on the GBP JPY, so that's exactly what we want to see when we're going through placing our trades. Is a signal coming in saying that basically it's agreeing with the trades we're placing, and that's exactly how we should be using the signals. Most effective way of using them, and it just acts as like a confirmation of what we've been analysing, which is exactly what we want to happen, and it's exactly what the software was designed to do, is use this this combination of things in conjunction with each other. We can see that the Aussie dollar now strengthening against the US dollar as well, so I'm just going to get the final GBP JPY trade placed. And we're seeing this continuing to rise here, so I'm happy with that one of trades. Now, can I ask who has replicated my trades, who has copied the trades I'm placing? I'll go through them in a second, but essentially we've got GBP JPY, Australian USD and GBP USD, all against the US dollar and the yen. Okay, so you have to think of them in terms of the way they're ordered, but we're backing the weakness, if you like, and that sounds weird, but we're trading with the weakness of the Japanese yen and the US dollar, which is giving us good opportunity there. Okay, Wong, excellent. Glad you're able to join us. I don't know what happened yesterday, Wong. Ross told me that you had trouble connecting. Was that to do with the email address that I was using, or? Well, right, okay. Well, you know, obviously we want to make sure that you can get connection. I think it was at your end because I sent the link to the same address I always do. Now, have a look at these movements now. We can see how weak this US dollar is getting and this yen is getting, and these are very good trades for us. So we've got 16 trades placed. Now, we're seeing that they're all in the green, every single one of them. Right, they all expire at 9 o'clock. So we can see here, just to show you, and look at the way this pound is moving against this yen now, absolutely dominating it. So hopefully you've all managed to take advantage of this movement, very strong movement. Australian dollar just dropped down a little bit, but nothing too alarming for us. There we go. So we can see all of these trades in the green. There we go. I'm just putting them all up so you can see all of them. And there we're getting GBP USD, another signal confirming what we've already placed. So if you get to a stage when you're trading and you're placing your trades and then getting a signal like we are here to tell us that the GBP USD, which we've already traded, and the GBP JPY are going in the direction that you've traded, then you're doing it exactly as you should be. That is exactly how you should be using the software and executing your trades. It's the perfect way to trade. It means that we're getting a confirmation of what we've analysed and placed. There we go. We can see all our trades now in the green. So hopefully everyone's got the same in the same position as I am. Got another 15 minutes or so on these trades. The US dollar just strengthened a bit against the Aussie dollar, but this one we placed late on and we've got a bit longer on it. So 9.15, 9.15. So a few of these we have got slightly longer on the trades. So we were seeing the Aussie dollar just strengthen a little bit against the US dollar, but nothing major. Again, we've got plenty of time for these to come in, and I think overall the dollar is going to remain weak, certainly against the pound. The yen and the US dollar against the pound, certainly. So the Aussie trades are the only ones that aren't looking so good at the moment, but we should be okay long term. We can see that the pound now starting to strengthen again. And what we should see is the Australian dollar follow suit fairly soon after. Okay, it won't last if the European currencies are dominating the dollar. The Aussie should follow fairly quickly. But we did see a big gain on this, and thinking about it now or looking at this, obviously it's easy in hindsight. It's probably more positive to replace this with the European currencies, but we'll just see how things pan out. I think they'll all be all right. We've seen enough movement in most of them, and I think this Australian US dollar pairing will turn around. I don't think it can carry on plummeting like that when the rest of the GBP is dominating the pound, the US dollar as it is at the moment. So, has anyone got any questions for me at this stage? No, none at all. Okay. What we're going to start doing is introducing later webinars. I've been saying for a while, but it's something we've been thinking about doing for a while. And I'm also going to start showing you how to use a shorter broker setup, because I know we're getting feedback now that a lot of you aren't setting up at the recommended amount of brokers. We do recommend a bigger choice of brokers, but inevitably some of you are going, well, I just want to open 2, 3 brokers. And what we're going to do is start providing a way to trade with a smaller number of brokers. Okay, it's still recommended to have more, but of course a lot of you are just insisting on opening with a smaller amount of brokers, and then you're risking losing your money, or you are losing your money because you're not following the correct procedure. So I'm going to start running webinars that will show people how to trade with a smaller number of brokers. And that should really start helping you to follow what I'm doing as well. Okay, you know, I know a lot of you say that we move too fast throughout the webinars, you can't keep up and so on. So trading with a smaller number of brokers will help that as well. So if anyone's interested in those webinars that will focus on a minimal broker setup, then please let me know, ben@optionxe.com. And I can let you know the details, times and so on. And if you know anyone else that obviously would be interested in starting up at a lower level, possibly just paying for the webinars which incorporate a couple of brokers, then of course we can help them to do that as well. Okay. What's happening in the... Are you asking the US market, Jeff, or... Yeah. Well, what do you mean in terms of events? Do you mean in terms of events that are happening? Right, there's nothing going on. There really isn't anything going on. I think it's why the US dollar is so weak today. Today there's no events. Well, no significant events. We have got factory orders, economic optimism, which may be, but that's much later in the day. There's really nothing else in terms of financial events occurring today. So the focus should be on Europe and possibly, you know, the US dollar actually being quite weak today. We're seeing these drop down now. We've got 10 minutes to go on them. This Aussie dollar. Yeah, the yen's starting to strengthen now, but we'll see how these pan out here. The Aussie dollar is is really starting to weaken against the US dollar now. So I hope that these can hold on. Obviously, I've seen these come back many times, so don't worry too much at the moment. Let's have a look at the M1 chart for the JPY. If our chart will change, going very slow today. Yeah, but Jeff, there's no significant events today, really, not for the US market. So we'll just keep an eye on how Europe acts against the US dollar there. Let's just see, we're on an M1 chart, GBP JPY. Yeah, surprisingly, see these still in the green. I think these will turn around, but our Aussie dollar trades, I'm going to sell. Let's see what we can get back for these. Not much, unfortunately, but I can see that it is in a, well, it's not letting me sell it. Let's just see if I can sell my other position here. So this Aussie US dollar, for some reason, it's not holding strength like the European currencies, so I'm just going to sell these on. We don't get much for them when we sell them, so it's not ideal, but what I believe is that the pound is going to hold much greater strength. But yeah, the pound's going to hold much greater strength, so what I'm going to do is sell these positions and start backing the strength of the euro and the pound. All right, which is a much more sensible option at the moment. So we would have dropped a few dollars here. So you can see, look how this is rising now. The euro's now really rising against the yen there. So just see if I can process this request as well. Get all these positions sold. There we go. So now we're in a position where we've got our GBP really needs to pick up a bit of strength. I thought it would hold strength a lot better than the other ones. The only one we've not sold our position on is here. There we go. So now that one's gone as well. So all of these sold. We can see that the euro is now picking up. So I'm going to go and have a look at that euro. So look at the euro USD, because I think that's probably going to be holding good strength as well. Indeed it is. So I'm probably going to get some other trades placed to follow the euro. Let's have a look at an H1 chart and just see what position this has been in over the last 3 days. So yeah, we can see that the euro is continuing to rise. They'll probably continue to do that. Just having a look at whether we've got any other details of upcoming events or data. And at the moment, just waiting for this to load. It's taking a long time. Right, so yeah, we have got European manufacturing figures coming up at 11. So it's probably worth holding on for those. But certainly at the moment, the pound's still looking strong. Very slow connecting. I think it's probably because we've got these manufacturing figures coming up at 11. So I'm just having a look through for you to see if we can. Yeah, so nothing showing on that yet. The GBP JPY, we can see here that the pound just creeping up slowly but surely, and I think that's probably going to continue. Certainly, it looks like it's going to continue against the US dollar. This Aussie US dollar, complete opposite to that though. So interesting. Look how this has dropped, gone completely the opposite direction. We would have been better off placing that with US dollar, but this now looks like it's starting to rise a little bit. Let's just have a look at the euro JPY. See if we can put a trade from here just to ease that loss a little bit and make sure that we're in good profit. Well, this euro JPY is definitely the one that's looking strongest now. Is that going to change when these figures are released? Bearing in mind that the manufacturing figures in the UK were very good, I think this is a good one to follow. So let's have a look. Yeah, still rising. So that's where I'm going to place this final trade. And place it on a longer term expiry time. Okay, well, I say longer term. We're going at 15 or 9:15. All right, and this is going to be my final trades, and obviously this will put us back in a very good position of profit now. So GBP JPY will probably be alright as well, but I'm going to go with the Euro JPY because it just looks like a stronger option at the moment. So 9:30, 9:15, 9:30, you want a good amount of time on these trades as well. Just don't place them too short because then we're at risk of getting caught out by fluctuations and so on throughout the course of that trade. So this GBP, so Euro JPY, allows me to do it. Oh, there it goes. Euro JPY 920. Things will drop away just before this announcement at 11 for the European. Just going to have a look for the European manufacturing figures, but what you've got to remember is that it will bounce back up. And this Euro JPY, I think we've already got a trade place on this, so I'm going to go with the. I can't use the GBP JPY, but the GBP USD will probably still be offering a good option here. So just have a look. Very slow at the moment. Yeah, so you see that's just ducked back down, but that's because we've got these figures coming up in a minute. But let's have a look at the GBP USD because I think that's probably still going to be offering fairly good opportunity to place trade. We'll have a look at it in a second when it changes. Taking a long time. There we go. So have a look at an M1 chart and see how it's positioned now. Yeah, so this pound's still creeping up against the US dollar. So I am going to place this trade in favour of the pound. There we go. So that's final trade placed. Now I've got a total of 16 trades placed. I've cancelled 4. We're going to go through and just have a look at the status of them now. So there we go. That one we've just placed, obviously not in the green, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8 trades in the green. We've cancelled 4, which has lost us a bit of money, but obviously we've now got our Euro JPY trade placed, which should come in once this data is released here. So that'll put us way back in profit. So we'll be looking at just like we've been in a fairly common pattern really, with the 350 around a $350 profit for the session. So that's a total of 20 trades placed, 4 cancelled, but 16 successful. Okay, so that puts us in very good position. There we go. So that's the GBP JPY there, just hovering around where it needs to be. We've got a couple of minutes left on that, so we'll have a look at these. They should all come in. So just need them to hold strength until they expire, which will be, so these ones are all in the green. So we can just see we've got a couple of minutes left on these. Well, in fact, on these two we've got a couple of minutes left. On the other one, obviously we placed on a slightly longer expiry time. There we go. So we can see all of these are in the green, and here we go. The euro really starting to strengthen now against the yen. So just going to scroll through. We've got a minute and a half left on our trades, but I'm just going to go through and show you the status of all of them, so you can see they're all in the green here, which they are. Some of them just got a little bit of a delay on them. You can see things going very slowly here. Let's just go to a different broker. We can see quite clearly that they're all in the green. Let's just refresh this one. We can make sure that see this one coming in. So we've got about 40 seconds left. We need the pound to pick up a little bit. The euro looking very strong indeed. The pound still looking very strong against the dollar there. So we just need to pick up slightly against the yen, which it looks like it will do. The euro absolutely firing off against the yen, which I expected it would do. Sorry. We've got slightly longer on those trades, but that's fine. That means that we're going to hit a very high percentage of our trades. You can see all of them in the money, including the ones we've just recently placed now. So it's going to be a good result. We'll see them expire, and the euro really taking off against the yen. So hopefully you manage to take advantage of that as well. And this movement here is exceptionally good because it means that we've taken full advantage of that movement just after we placed the trades. That puts us in a very good position indeed. It means that we've got a lot of room for the trade to fluctuate about without it risking our trade. Okay, so just going to go through and have a look at where we finished up on those trades that were placed originally. But we can see the euro movement. Can I ask, GBP, JPY, look, must have been just like by a couple of pips only. And what ones can? All right, well, fair bit. It's not too much in the GBP, JPY, to be honest. And what trades came in, Jeff? Because a lot of them came in as well. Oh, right, okay. Well, I placed a lot of mine for 9 o'clock. If you replicated my trades, Jeff, which I thought you had, then obviously you'd have the same expiry. I had someone for 9.15, but there we go. So I sold that position there. I'm just looking at here the results here. So GBP USD 1, and there 1 sold, 1 won, and obviously our open positions mean that we've got another one coming in very soon. So I'm just going to write these down. Just going to write these down so that we've got them there to hand. So UK options. And then option rally, we had, change the date, let's have a look. So we had a GBP JPY, as you said, Jeff, that didn't come in, and then we've got 1 sold. So and then on cherry trade, we've got GBP JPY, yeah, loss unfortunately. So 1 sold. It's the same story. 1 sold and 1 lost on cherry. And then finally on water finance, we've got the GBP JPY on this one came in. All right, and then we've got position sold. So 2 wins. Let's have a look. Second, yeah, 2 wins. 1 sold. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2, 2, 5 minus minus 160 for the ones we sold, pretty much. Do this was 65, and then we've got our other ones that are live, which I think are all looking good. So let's have a look at the GBP. The Euro JPY now, and all of these are looking very good indeed, as you can see. So assuming all of these come in, which they should do, yeah, 6 others are in the green, that's right. So all of these should come in, so that'll be another 160. So we'll be looking at well over $200 profit, somewhere near to $220 profit on these positions. So we've got the GBP USD we've still got here as well. There'll be another position, hopefully that will come in. Let's have a look at the position it's in now. Yeah, it's been dropping a little way, but you never know whether that comes back. Nevertheless, we're going to be looking around a 200, at least a $200 profit, somewhere a little over that with the ones that come in. So thanks for joining me this afternoon. There's not a huge amount happening in the US market, so we'll see if we can take advantage of a weakness in the US dollar while there's no events occurring. That should be a good one to play some predictable trades on. But I'll be back at just after 2 my time, and I look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks for joining. Oh, when we'll get the email for the next, it will be soon after this one. Okay, I'll set it up now. Okay, all right, no problem. Thanks for joining me.